Hey guys, hope everyone's doing okay. I just wanted to hop on and do a super quick video in regards to the current energy, mainly the full moon in Scorpio that's coming up this Thursday, May 7th, but also just in general because it's been obviously cuckoo, crazy, wonky time, and the energy definitely feels wacky and spacey and just off. So I myself have not been myself, but I wanted to get outside today for a little bit, really quick, just to get this out there. We have a full moon in Scorpio Thursday, May 7th. This is the third supermoon in a row that we've had, and the final one. And it's just interesting because the first supermoon that we had in March was it was a full moon in Virgo, supermoon, and that was at the time when we first went into, or under lockdown, I should say, for most. And then we had another supermoon in April, which was in Libra, and that one was really about like partnerships and harmonizing and balancing our energy, right, within our partnerships of all forms. And that was a time when people were really starting to get into the quarantine and dealing with work and dealing with, changes in work and relationships of all kinds. And now we've got the third one, which is a full supermoon in Scorpio, which can feel really intense, and you're probably feeling this intensity in the energy right now. Whenever we have Taurus energy, which is Earth, and the sun is in Taurus right now, so we have Taurus energy, which is always grounding for us and solidifying, usually immovable and just stable for the most part. And then we've got the moon in the opposite sign of Scorpio, which is a water sign, and Scorpio is all about fluidity and moving with the undercurrent, the underworld, right? So it's all about what isn't being seen or what isn't being said. Now, it's important to mention that we do have a lot of retrogrades that are happening currently, just began to happen, Pluto being the first one. And it's important to mention that up until this point, we have not had any retrograde planets, okay? Now, whenever we do have retrograde planets, what happens is the energy just gets like intensified because those planets are technically moving closer. They're moving closer to us, so they're like backwards in the sky, moving closer towards us, and so we do feel that energetically, and we react to it from the from the body, from the intuition, from the emotion. We start to feel differently. We start to react differently to things, and we may not always understand why. Pluto went retrograde April 24th. Pluto is also the ruling planet of Scorpio, which is what sign this full moon is in this coming Thursday. And so whenever we're dealing with Pluto and with Scorpio, we're automatically dealing with the taboo, the darkness, the intensity, the shadow side, right? Going deep to the depths of the underworld, basically. And right now, this is a time where, we're immovable because we're under Taurus energy, and a lot of us can't really do what we would normally be doing. So we are being forced to just be still and be present. And so this is going to go either one of two ways. You're either going to be really in tune with this moon energy and really feeling on a deep level, highly emotional, highly sensitized, wanting answers, or you're going to be feeling very earthy and Taurian, which is just like, it is what it is right now. I'm just going to, keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm not, I don't want to go deep right now. I just want to be surface, because really it has been challenging to stay in a healthy emotional space right now with everything that's been going on. This week is very intense, okay? So if you've been feeling like the past 6 days more so leading up to this coming weekend, the 10th, 11th, 12th, if you're feeling like this buildup of energy, you're right where you're supposed to be. Congratulations, because there's a lot going on. Like I said, Pluto just went retrograde. It will be that way until October. We've got this full moon coming up on May 7th. The nodes, the north and south nodes, are switching signs. Actually, today, when I record this, May 5th, they're switching signs for the next 18 months. They were in Cancer and Capricorn, which is structure, which is our private life and our public life, and now they're going into Gemini and Sagittarius for the next 18 months. I'm going to do a separate video on that, but just know that that is an important shift that we do feel, and then dependent on your own birth chart and what your own north and south nodes are doing, you're going to feel that on a very deep level and different for everybody. Aside from that, Venus is about to go retrograde on May the 13th. Venus is also currently squaring Neptune, and it's very present with this full moon. So I wanted to mention that because the way that Venus-Neptune square can manifest, normally that's not a very long transit. It's usually just like a couple of days. But because Venus is about to station retrograde, this this Venus square Neptune will actually last until the beginning of June. And it is important to talk about it because it could cause us to be either blowing things out of proportion due to paranoia or fear, or wanting to see things for what, like a delusion, just like being delusional, wanting to see things for the way we want them to be versus the reality of how they actually are. And the Scorpio full moon can unearth that stuff. So that's why I'm bringing this up, because you can be in a space where you're thinking things are true that are not, or you're thinking things are better than they are, and you're wearing the rose-colored Neptunian glasses, okay? So if you're feeling like a little, like you don't know what the frig is going on emotionally, and you don't know which end is up, and you don't know what's true and what's false, just take a breather and give yourself until early June, because you're not going to feel clear. And again, the more sensitive you are to energy, and if you're a water sign or a water moon, you're going to feel this stuff a lot more. And if you don't know your signs, don't worry about it. Just go by what you feel. You have to be your own guru during these times. I say that to everybody because it is so important that you have your own foundation, internal foundation to rely upon during these times, because if you don't, you're going to spiral, you're going to go down the rabbit hole. It's impossible not to. So just know that if you are feeling unclear or, just like foggy, that's the Venus Neptune square. This full moon in Scorpio is also trining Neptune, which could help a little bit with that, or it could release some information, right? Because Scorpio is a sign that like I said, it uncovers, it unearths. It's like you have a big boulder and you lift up the boulder and there's like a bunch of bugs underneath, and you jump back and you're repulsed, but in reality it unearths something for you. So that's kind of what this energy is like. It's just a time where you're going to maybe be finding things out that you need to be illuminated for you. Scorpio energy, full moons, illumination. It's very intuitive time. Your dreams are very pronounced, most likely. I know between the pandemic and then just the planetary energy in general, dreams are like off the rails, okay? You could be getting a lot of real messages there, or your fears and paranoias can be coming out in there too. So, I talked to a client the other day that told me that he had a dream that, people's heads were being chopped off, and he woke up freaked out. And I've had someone else tell me, a woman tell me something similar about cars running people over. That's anxiety, okay? That's not reality, that's anxiety. But when you have dreams about, people giving you messages or saying things to you that are important, or even feeling someone's hug in a dream, that's all real stuff, and that's really ramped up right now with this energy. So take the good with the good, right? Don't just assume that everything's negative, because it's not. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Saturn, Venus, and Jupiter are all about to go retrograde. They're all going to, in succession, they're going to all follow one after the other. And then Mercury will go in June. So again, we're under retrograde energy. Already weird. We're already in these crazy weird times right now where we don't really know what's coming next or what's going on. And again, it's really important that you just are your own guru, and just go to and just know that it's really the other thing I want to say with the Venus square Neptune that's really important, it's illusion, and it's fantasy, and it's boundaries, and it could be lying. So think about what's going on in the world right now, also not just in your personal life. That's a whole nother issue with relationships and things like that. Just know that the Venus square Neptune is present, and you can get duped, and you can be led to feel that things are one way when they're not. And consequently, you can also be led astray from the right things to go towards something that is glitzy and glamorous that's not really legit. So, and that goes for your own personal stuff, and then what's on the outside. With Venus square Neptune, facts and fiction can kind of blend, and it's really difficult sometimes to sort that out and figure that out, what is real and what isn't. So again, you really have to do your own soul work right now. You really have to trust yourself. Talk to people that can give you a fresh perspective or an objective perspective if you need help. But just also keep in mind that everybody is going through their own shit right now. Seriously, guys. And it's just, I see things on the internet, and I hear people say things that really piss me off, when it's like, oh, so-and-so, well, I don't know what they're complaining about. Their life is this. You don't know that. You don't know that. Nobody knows what anybody else is going through. And we all need to be compassionate and remain in empathy right now, because there's a lot of shit going on out there, guys. You don't need to, be a rocket scientist to figure this out. So all you can control, like I always say, is the internal world. And just know that this is going to be a highly emotional and highly sensitive time. And I'm going to be honest, I keep reading everywhere that May is going to be like a lighter month and all of this. And I don't really feel that per se. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that it's going to be a little bit more of the same with a little bit more freedom. But again, we can't be stupid with our freedom either. So I don't know, just take really good care of yourselves. Use the full moon energy to go deep and look at your life right now, reevaluation, see where you're at, if it's where you would like to be, if there's things that you still feel you need to work on, you know, get them going. Just try to stay motivated. It's so hard, I know, believe me, but you have to try right now because it's really all that we can do. Oh yeah, and I didn't do my tarot card, so I want to pull a tarot card. It's my Hermetic Tarot. I needed to get outside today and listen to the birds because it's a little chilly, but it's still really nice. Alright, guys. We got the Chariot, Lord of the Triumph of Light. I'm actually so drawn. This is really cool because the Chariot is card number 7 in the tarot, and it's also the card of Cancer, and the time of Cancer, which is June, July. And so the Chariot's all about controlled force and getting to victory, getting to the finish line by using our own internal forces of good and evil. Honestly, it's about getting us where we need to go with, but remaining in control as we do so. And it's interesting that it came out with the July timeline, because June-July timeline, because if you think about the trajectory that we are on as a collective, that will probably be the time where we will really be feeling like, okay, we can breathe again. Things are somewhat getting back to normal. We're going to start to see things normalizing prior, like now. We already are. Things are getting uncovered. We're getting more news. We're getting more information about what's to come and what's next. We really have to pay attention. We really have to listen, because remember, Venus, Neptune. We're going to hear what others want us to hear. Remember that. You have to hear. You hear it, digest it, trust yourself on what you feel when you hear that. Not everybody has the same opinion. Not everybody has the same belief system. And you don't want to end up in a battle of wills with anybody that's committed to their position, because Taurus and Scorpio, that's the sun and that's the moon right now. Taurus suns are stubborn and they're rooted to their position. Scorpio suns, stubborn, rooted to their position. You are not going to, and the moon is also squaring Mars right now, by the way. The full moon's going to be squaring Mars. So there is still that hot button aspect of people getting combative. And I mean, I've seen it when I've been at the supermarket and in other ways. So you just chill. You just have to take it down a notch and just know that everybody, you know, nobody is going to be on the same page as you right now all the time. I was walking around my neighborhood the other day, and it wasn't even crowded, and you know, there was definitely social distancing, and I did not have a mask because, I'll be honest, I don't wear my mask outside. I'm not going anywhere that's super crowded right now. I wear it when I go to the supermarket. Do I love wearing it? Absolutely not, but I know that that's what's needed to right now. And I was walking, and an older gentleman was walking by me, and he had a mask on, and he looked at me, and I believe he made a face. I couldn't tell because he had his mask on, but he motioned to me like, "Where's your mask?" And you know, I felt something go inside. I really did, because it triggered me, because I was going to be like, you know, I have my own theory on, I'm not going to get into that now, but I have my own theory on biology and masks and things like that. And while I'm not being stupid, I also didn't want to wear it outside on a beautiful day when I was walking around my neighborhood. Anyway, I didn't say anything. I let it go. I breathed, and I walked right by. And that is the kind of reaction we need to learn to control, and that's that card, Chariot, control. We need to control what we can right now, and by doing that with forced control, we are going to get to the finish line. We're going to get through this. We're going to get to a place where we can all breathe easier, and that won't be too far off. So like I said, take really good care of yourselves, and I'll be back with some more videos. I am going to do one probably on Venus retrograde, because this is an important one, as well as the nodal shift of the North and South node. Take really good care of yourselves, guys. Bye.